Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Masters podcast, helping the general public master an understanding of crypto assets. My name is Brian McCoy.
And my name is Ross Eaton.
And we are the Crypto Masters. All right, Ross, the topic of today's episode is Klaytn. It's a top 35 coin by market cap. Its blockchain is out of South Korea that is attempting to be a sort of an enterprise blockchain for businesses and something like Facebook's Libra or Diem token.
Very nice.
All right, quick reminder. Our goal here at the Crypto Masters is to provide information about crypto assets to help the public decide if it's something they want to, they may want to invest in and then do further research on their own. We generally look at projects to determine if they would be good for a long-term investment.
Absolutely, Brian. Yeah, I'd say we do the hard research so you don't have to. And then we pick off what we believe to be the key nuggets of information. So, like Brian said, the nuggets. So, like Brian said, it's important to, take our information in and do the research on your own. But I have to stop before we continue. We are not financial advisors. So, hey, this is not financial advice.
It is not.
So with that, let's get started with Klaytn. It was started by a huge South Korean company called Kakao. Little ode to Portlandia there. And that's probably where we need to begin in this discussion. So, Brian, give us a little rundown of Kakao.
Well, all right, let's just do that.
Chocolate?
Cacao. It's with a K, by the way, because everything and then is with a K.
That's a good note.
Kakao is a huge tech company in South Korea, and its messaging app is very popular in South Korea. It also has a very popular ride-sharing app, an internet-only bank, a music app, among its other businesses. So it's a huge conglomerate.
Yeah, they're a big player, for sure.
It's big. So Kakao decided to get into the crypto business, and in 2018, it had an ICO. But none of the sales were to retail investors. They were all to accredited investors, big companies, things like that. It didn't totally sell as much as they wanted, so they later had another round, but again, not open to retail investors. The mainnet was launched in June of 2019, and the Klay token, with a K, Klay.
Another K there.
Yeah. It quickly rose up the market cap charts. And I think it got in the top 20, Ross. Like we said, now it's in the top 35 on both CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. But it really had a sort of a meteoric rise. So, Ross, what does the Klaytn blockchain actually do?
Well, Brian, it's blockchain like Ethereum. And in fact, it seems to have copied Ethereum to a large extent. Unlike Ethereum, though, its focus seems to be more on enterprise adoption, which is used by large companies. That's a main central theme for Klaytn. Because Kakao's reach in Korean tech market, it's created a wallet called Clip. And again, that's Clip with a K. There's no C's up in here, Brian. And has
Good
made
marketing.
Absolutely. And that Clip wallet, it's made Klaytn token available for use and rewards for uses of its messaging app and other tech products. This sounds a bit similar to what Facebook wanted to do with its Libra or Diem token.
I think it's Diem now.
Yeah, it is.
They abandoned Libra, but yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like Libra. I don't know.
It's still not out there. So.
But just lame. Klaytn is boasting a transaction per second amount of 4,000 and a 1 second block confirmation.
Wow.
And generation time. And you can see all of this on scope.klaytn.com, and I'll link that in the description so you can easily just click away and follow that link. But it's a pretty cool tool, I got to say. But there's been some questions surrounding this transaction time, but I'm not going to get into that. I don't think it's too far-fetched given some other projects we've seen and essentially a more centralized nature, which, Brian, I think you'll get into later.
And we sort of talked about that before. Like, can it have 4,000 transactions per second if it's really like part of the Ethereum virtual machine, which only allows like 15 per second? Is that kind of the same situation here?
Yeah, similarly, I'd say. But a good note from there, Brian, is it achieves this 4,000 transaction per second while having a low gas price, a tenth of Ethereum.
That's nice.
Klaytn also runs, like you said, the Ethereum virtual machine and supports Solidity smart contracts. That's a big duh right there, Brian. But Brian, why don't you tell us about the governance of Klaytn and some about the nodes, and let's see how decentralized it really is.
Yeah, and this is important. So what about the governance of Klaytn? Well, it has a governance council made up of some large companies. Council members must stake 5 million Klay. Well, that's big.
Okay.
Some of the big names on the council are Kakao, of course, and then several of its entities or subsidiaries.
Surprising.
Yeah. But also like LG Electronics, that's big. Binance,
sure.
and some banks that I haven't heard of, but they're probably big in South Korea. There's currently around 30, maybe 50, 30 to 50 council members, but several of them are Kakao affiliates. And the council makes major decisions involving the protocol. As its documents on its website describe, and I'm going to quote this, quote, "The council members participate in key decisions relating to technical updates to the platform, including basic structures to new major features like L2 solutions, as well as updates to the economic policy and spending resolution, including funding structure, transaction fee policy, and contribution evaluation metrics." So council has a lot of authority. Council members also operate the consensus node network, which makes the council an essential body in the Klaytn ecosystem responsible providing the underlying infrastructure. So here's something that's kind of interesting. The chairman of the council seems to have a lot of authority himself or herself, according to Klaytn's documentation, which also suggests that the sole chairman has unlimited emergency powers, such as freezing user accounts or even stopping the entire Klaytn blockchain under certain circumstances.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big stuff there, Brian.
Yeah. So Klaytn uses something they call permissioned proof of stake. So for every block, a committee composed of randomly selected council members is formed. Each committee has one member assigned to the role of proposer, and all other committee members assume the role of validators. When a block is successfully created and added to the Klaytn blockchain, the proposer of the block is rewarded with 100% of the block reward. The probability of a council member being selected as the proposer is proportional to the amount of Klay staked by the member. So the more Klay a member stakes, the more likely that the member will be selected as a proposer and then potentially claim the block reward. So Klaytn achieves the fast finality by adopting and improving the Istanbul Byzantine fault tolerance. Because of validation and consensus are done for each block, there is no fork, and the block's finality is guaranteed instantly as soon as the consensus is made. All right, so as long as 5 million Klay staking requirement is met, the Klaytn Governance Council members can freely stake or unstake their own Klay. So really the Governance Council members run the show.
They have a lot of control, it seems
They
like.
do. They do. All right.
Yeah, and especially that one you said where that sold the top dog has, to shut down wallets.
That's noteworthy.
That's a big deal. So
Yeah.
And it's different from what we've seen in other projects for sure.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mentioned previously that Klaytn is all about businesses getting involved in blockchains, enterprises, stuff like that. So Klaytn obviously provides tools for enterprises to start their own blockchains. And if you take a look at Klaytn's position paper on their website, again, I'll link it all in the description for your clicking pleasure.
Below.
But check it out below. But which they believe gives business and really corporations the power to keep growing blockchain. And that's, as they say, they believe that's what's really going to drive blockchain technology, businesses and corporations. So, they're giving them the tools to easily spin up blockchains on their own and plug into their system. So if they can enable businesses, it's going to be a huge success. That's what they believe. That's what I feel is a big statement in their position paper.
Fair enough.
And I also want to mention, again, this theme just keeps on going, that Klaytn has something called a B app or BAP, whatever you want to call it. These are basically D apps, decentralized apps, but for businesses, business applications. So you can see they even renamed dApps to BAPs to better appeal to businesses. I'm joking in a way, but I mean, that's kind of true. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
The Klaytn blockchain is a host of over 50 blockchain applications or BAPs.
B-apps or BAPs. Yeah, sorry, same issue as D-apps. Right?
Yeah. And they serve a variety of roles and functions for different use cases. And this is just some notable ones. You can go on their website too to check them out. But this is just a couple of notable ones that I saw kind of piqued my interest. They have Angel League. That's a platform that will facilitate the trading of tokenized shares as non-fungible tokens. NFTs. You've
so hot right now.
So hot right now, Brian. So hot. Quota Book is a South Korean-based security management and software as a service platform for the management of investment stakeholders in equal plans with the use of NFTs. So hot right now, Brian. Tessa, it launched. Not Tesla. Tessa.
All right,
launched. Did I say Tesla?
No.
Or you're just messing with. Okay.
Yeah, I'm messing with
Good. Tessa launched in conjunction with ArtBlock. The Tessa platform facilitates the buying, selling, and trading of fractional ownerships of art built on the Klaytn network. MakeStar is a Korean-based crowdfunding platform that has partnered with celebrities and artists to provide unique experiences. These include music, art, and exclusive video chats achieved using NFTs.
So hot right now.
Brian. Klaytn is also host to several crypto gaming platforms, and this includes RPG games like Night Story, Crypto Sword and Magic, and Crypto Dragon. I kind of like the look of Crypto Dragon. I haven't really played it, but I kind of look at some screenshots.
And Magic, cool. Actually. Magic, so hot right now.
Magic, yes.
All right. So, on to tokenomics?
Yeah, Brian, I just want to say real quick, I feel like you're the tokenomics guy of the Crypto Masters. I like it.
I seem to always do the tokenomics because I think that's important. I need to look into it.
It is very important.
Yeah. So we mentioned that its token is called Klay, Klay.
No C's up in here, Brian.
No, because of Kakao with a K. It's Klay with a K. So there are about 2.5 billion Klay in circulation out of a total supply of 10.6 billion. Less than 25%, less than a quarter. But there are transactions fees. But there's no maximum supply. So with every new block, newly issued Klay and the sum of transactions fees used in the block reward, are aggregated and distributed in the following three destination accounts following this ratio. 1, the Klaytn Governance Council, also called the core cell operators. So again, back to the Governance Council, receives 34% of the supply. 2, Proof of Contribution gets 54% of the supply. And then the remaining 12% are dedicated to the Klaytn Improvement Reserve. We've heard of that before. It's like reserve that's used to, sort of find beneficial projects to the protocol. So that's
cool. Kind of fund the project in a way for sure.
All right, but let me go back then to the middle one, which was Proof of Contribution, which gets the 54%. So I'm just tell you what it's described as follows on the Klaytn documents. Quote, Klaytn's token economy operates and develops through the activities of Klaytn's economic entities. Klaytn has created an incentive system to foster the economic entities' activities in order to help maintain and strengthen the economic growth of Klaytn. End quote. So that's 54%. So remember, the 34% went to the Governance Council. So 54% goes to these economic entities, it's just not clear to me. Do these economic entities, are they also the governance council members? Kind of sounds like it, because they're really the validators of the blocks, the core cell operators. So that would be 34% plus 54% is 88%. So it's unclear to me, but could be that the governance council gets 88% of the rewards from every block issue.
Yeah, it's definitely, for me reading this, it just feels a little vague to me.
It's a little vague,
or confusing at least. So
yeah, either way, it's a big percentage going to the council, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, if you've got a better explanation of this, comment down below, and we'll
let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you think about that.
Oh, so I want about 300 million new Klay are minted per year. So that's kind of the annual inflation, which is about 10%, 300 million of the 10 billion. So that's pretty much in line with normal inflation, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah. Where can you buy Klay? Well, it's on Binance, BitHub, OKEx. It's also on its own swap, of course, exchange called Klayswap.
Klayswap.
We've had some good comments lately on different exchanges on where to buy. So if you've got a favorite place to buy Klay, let us know. Comment below.
I got to say, though, based on that, not a lot of options for the U.S. citizens.
Yeah, still not a lot of options there. But hey, if you're a U.S. citizen, have a place to buy it that you find your favorite, we didn't mention, feel free to comment below. And of course, we've got to mention the team behind Klaytn. And as said, of course, it's the main driver of this thing is Kakao. Kakao. I just had to say it too. But the individual associated with the Klaytn project is Jason Han, and that's Jaesun Han. He is the founder and CEO of GroundX, the company behind the Klaytn blockchain. Han has a PhD in electrical engineering and computer science from the Korean Advanced Institute of Technology, Institute of Science and Technology. Can't forget science there, Brian.
You left that out.
Although I'm only interested in technology. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious. Someone like this is going to have a good degree, smart guy, smart head on the shoulders to kind of build something like this.
Yep.
He founded Nexer, the first big data and cloud computing tech startup in Korea, and was an executive with a cloud computing company and a cloud services. So
sounds like a smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy behind a blockchain project. It seems rare, right? No, I'm kidding. It's obviously some smart guy making some crypto.
No doubt. All right, Ross, guess what it's time for?
Lunch.
Final thoughts.
Oh, that's good too. I like it.
Final thought. I think that you went first last week.
I think
so. That means I get to go first this week. All right.
Take us away, Brian.
Let's do it. So final thoughts, everybody. So I try to ask myself before any new crypto purchase, why would I buy this? Now, I haven't always done this, and I've been burned by that. But I should have done this. So why would I purchase this? So if I were to do this with Klaytn, why would I buy this?
Mm-hmm.
I have no good answer.
Okay.
Yeah, when you look at
the wind up and the pitch.
When you look at its competition, Ethereum 2, Cardano, Elrond, and so many others, I can just see no reason to buy Klaytn. And so what is Klaytn's niche? It seems to be enterprises or large businesses, right? Like we've talked about. But to me, its real advantage seems to be the retail market, in its penetration with its messenger app in South Korea. So which is it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And let me say this. It has nothing to do with South Korea. I took a couple of business trips there 10 to 15 years ago. I spent several weeks there. And it is a very impressive country. The South Korean people are very smart. They're very tech savvy.
I mean, South Korea, I'll just say, Brian, has been said to be like a crypto hub. I mean, you could call it that.
It's just a lot of smart, tech savvy people there. So this is not a slam on South Korea in any way, shape, or form. But, the individuals there have access to other coins and tokens. And there are just a lot that are better than Klaytn. And even the tokenomics of Klaytn are not very good. So, part of our service in doing the preliminary research here for our listeners on various coins and tokens, and we've done this, and my conclusion is run and hide from Klaytn.
Ooh.
Putrid. I've said that word before. Anyway, there is no reason to buy this coin. If we've made you steer away from this and focus on other promising coins, like a lot of, like almost anything else, ETH2, Cardano, Elrond, so many others.
Yeah, Polkadot. The
So,
list goes on.
Yeah,
The
it
list goes
does.
on.
Right. And so then we've done you a service. So if we've helped you say, okay, forget Klaytn, let me look at some other things, then we've done you a service. Those are my thoughts, Ross.
Well, I just have one question, Brian. So, how much Klay are you currently holding? How much do you have?
I'm like running, and I'm getting into a fetal position and just hiding from this thing. That's what I'm doing.
Wow, the bash is there. I this is one that's just I kind of have to piggyback off you, Brian.
It was a top 20, I think, at one point. It's still in the
was
top
way up
35.
there.
What?
It's still way up there, and let me just divulge some information here. This project does not like decentralized apps. It's called decentralized applications. Bitcoin, for example, kind of like a failure and not something to pitch to businesses. Let me just throw that out for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano fans that are watching this right now. This is the project.
You mean the real decentralized coins?
The real decentralized blockchain community. They have bashed you. They have bashed you right in your face. So I don't know. I feel like, to also market to the people but not support decentralized blockchain technology, it almost feels conflicting in nature, like conflicting ideologies for me. Let's get into the services they offer. They have a hardware wallet you can download on your phone. I'd say it's relatively easy to use. I even downloaded it on my
Clip, right? Clip with a K.
Yes. Yeah. And they even have a NFT application that you can put NFTs on your phone, hardware wallet. That it's easy to use stuff. The tech is good, but there always just feels like a better alternative. Like for this, I would handily pick Cardano, Ethereum over this. They have staking, but it seems like there's better options for that. It seems like they really don't hit any big area. There's no, if you had to draw a graph, there's nothing they really lead in. They have good services, but and that comes back to your question, Brian, why would you buy this? And there's just nothing that it leads in. I think, and I will say this, I think it will do well, especially in South Korea. I think it's going to do well. Well, I'll say probably only in South Korea, but especially with Kakao backing it, that's a huge company. And I almost feel like I'm going all over the place here, Brian.
No. I think that's a good point. And, in South Korea, it may be big because of its market penetration, but
for sure. Yeah.
But you know what? The South Koreans have alternatives too.
Yeah,
you know what?
absolutely.
Crypto is worldwide. So how can a single country coin, I'm not saying it is necessarily, but that's where it has the advantage. It's just not going to make it in the long run. And, we've talked about these governance councils before. We don't like them. I'll just be honest. We don't like them. And, some people may disagree and say 30 or 50 big companies, that's enough decentralization. Okay, if for you it is. For us, it's not. When there's alternatives out there like Bitcoin, like Cardano with thousands and thousands of decentralization, then you're comparing it to 30 or 50. It's just there's so many better alternatives out there. That's the whole point on this, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of our stamp on it. There's better alternatives out there.
Yeah.
And really, you compare it to some of the others in the market, it's done well, but not well in comparison. I think that's something we should note too, is that you could pick a crypto coin, especially in the top 100, that's done well, but look at crypto in a whole. This whole crypto market is doing well. So if you pick one in the top 100, it's going to do well. But is that relative to the market? I don't know.
And I don't want to overstate it. I think Kakao obviously is a big company with a lot of influence, and so maybe it can maintain its market cap. But for me, I'm looking at what do I invest in? So Kakao is on the list, but there's so many others that I think are better and preferable that I don't see me investing in it.
Yeah, I think my takeaway from this project and reviewing this was that Kakao is an awesome company. What they're doing is
It's
awesome.
huge, at least. Yeah, it's a lot of penetration in South Korea, a tech-savvy country.
Absolutely. But Klaytn and the Klay coin, I don't know. I'm not interested.
Run and hide.
Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you like Klaytn, but
Yeah.
it's not for me.
All right, so we'll probably get some negative comments below, but that's fine. We appreciate differing opinions, and
Yeah.
we welcome them. But for people who are interested in sort of our thoughts on it, it's like, hey, there's better alternatives. But check out the comments below, and I'm sure we'll have some Klaytn people saying it's great. So there you go.
Yep. There you go, Brian.
All right. Hey, you know what, Ross? This has been another episode of the Crypto Masters. Tune in next week. We'll have another coin or token to talk about.
Absolutely, Brian. And hey, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe below. And hey, we've got an awesome website out now, thecryptomasters.com.
Thecryptomasters.com.
Make sure you put a the in there. Check us out.
Thanks, everybody.